Welcome to the ARMA Hub. My name's James, and this is the ARMA Free Alpha. This is a moment we've kind of been waiting for here at the ARMA Hub. It was released yesterday on the 5th of March, and some of you might know there were some issues with releasing. The website was down for ages, so sorry if you guys had any trouble with that. I actually bought the supporter edition, and it wouldn't let me download it, but Bohemia fixed that, and they sent everybody Steam codes through email, which is nice. So anyway, without further ado, I just want to let you guys in on what's new in ARMA 3. I'm running this at maximum settings, and I've got the little FPS counter in the corner there. Not sure if you can see it or not, but I'll dictate it every now and then. So right now I'm getting about 30 frames, but I've got everything cranked all the way up onto full. Let's go into my options here. Videos, overall quality, all that's cranked up, all the visibility. Back into quality, everything's ultra or as high as it'll go, and rendering, everything's up as much as it'll go. I've turned off post processing because I still really don't like them. However, there are some frame rate issues for me, at least. I'm not sure if it's just me being way too optimistic and just trying to push it, but I get 30 here, but if I look over here it drops to 14, and I think that's an issue with the alpha. I've got a 4 gig graphics card in here, so it should be able to handle it. But you know, maybe that's a bug. I'm not quite sure. But yesterday I was playing on just the regular settings, and it runs really smooth. But anyway, I want to let you guys know what is new about this alpha. It's really exciting, actually. It's fairly limited for an alpha. There's only one island and only a very small selection of vehicles. But you know, I'm not going to complain because it is brand new, and it is very polished for an alpha as well, I must say. There's very few bugs that I've come across. One of the bugs that I have come across is when an explosion goes off near you, sometimes your characters will ostrich, and by that I mean they'll like just start bobbing their heads up and down, like looking like sort of weird ostrich people. But anyway, I am at the airfield on Stratus. Let me show you the map here. One thing I really like about this is that the map's actually got like sort of coloured terrain, so it makes it a lot easier for navigation. But if you zoom right out, you can get the old school sort of ARMA map. So I spawned in on Stratus. I spawned myself a chopper, and I'm going to fly around the island in a sec. I'm just going to show you guys possibly the newest feature of... I'm going to face this way. Possibly the newest feature of ARMA 3, and the most exciting one, is the new movement. The new movement is really exciting, and I was just mucking around for about 10 minutes just trying to figure it out, because it can get a little bit complicated if you don't really know what you're doing. So, the new movement, they've added like stances like usual, and then they've also added in-between stances, so you can get a very specific height and a very specific sort of way you want to position your character. Also, what is really cool is that they've also added new combat running. I think it's tactical running, and let me have a look. It's in the options. But it means where you can move along whilst keeping your weapon held high. So it's very useful for sort of breaching buildings, or if you know that you're going to be coming up on some enemies. Let me have a look in the controls here. Combat pace, that's what it's called there. So let me first start with combat pace. It's basically, as you see here, I've got my weapon held, and you do this by pressing the C key. So if I press the C key now, I'll toggle into a jog. And to slow down, you hold W, and then whilst you're holding W, you hit S, and you'll go into a walk, which is a little bit weird at first, but I'm sure you guys will get used to it. And then if you want to carry on sprinting again, you just hit S again, and you go back into the jog. And then you hit C, as I said before, and you'll come up into tactical combat view, or combat pace. I'm just not even going to face over. I'll lower my settings later on, but it wasn't too bad before recording, but I guess I'm being too optimistic. But yeah, so this is combat pace, so it's very useful for sort of if you're going to breach a building, or if you know that there are enemies close, you can keep your wits about you and hopefully get the drop off on them. And then if you go even slower, obviously your sights are a lot steadier, and it's a lot easier to hit people. When you are in combat pace, you do lose stamina. Stamina, even. Sorry, it's been a long night. So yeah, so let me get out of this here. I'm still having trouble with the controls because they're all fairly new. But yeah. So next, I'm going to show you guys the stances. Oh, by the way, just one quick thing. When you walk, I just love the fact that you only have one arm on the weapon. It just looks a lot nicer. And there's also they've also added some really nice animations. Like if I stand around here for a few seconds, you see how he sort of wipes his helmet there. Those are really nice as well. Right, so now combat stances. I'm going to stay in third person here. Also, what is really nice is the view snaps in really quickly. It takes a quarter of a second, whereas on Arma 2 it took maybe like a whole second to snap your view into zooming. Right, so new stances. There's standing, which is always nice. And to use these new stances, you hold... I'm going to go for the basics. Okay, so C is stand, X is crouch, and to get out of crouch, you hit X again. You can also do the combat pace in different stances. You can do it in the crouched and keep your weapon up there, which is also really nice. And you hit Z to go prone as usual, and to get out of prone, you hit Z again. So fairly self-explanatory, but it's not like Arma 2 where you hit Z to go prone and then C to stand back up. You hit the same key again. Right, so we're standing now. Say I'm not too happy and I feel like I'm a bit high, but I don't really want to go crouched. I hold control and then I hit S, and you see how my guy ducks down. Now this isn't quite crouching, this is sort of low standing. And then if I hit it again, I'll go into crouching. Hang on, what's my guy doing? I don't know. Right, anyway, I'm going to go into crouching, and it's the same thing. I can go up and get a sort of high crouch if I'm behind a wall, and then I go into low standing, and then high standing. So that's if you want to peek over windows. That's a very nice feature. And then you will go into sort of crouch and then low crouch, which is always good. Low crouch is one of my favourites, and low crouch with tactical walk is very good for if you're coming up over a hilltop. And then after that you've got high prone, which is hilariously awesome. You're just kind of squatting over and bent in half, but it can be very useful, although you can't move whilst you're in high prone. Then there's regular prone, and then there is possibly like my least useful one. There is low prone, which just sort of turns you on your side, makes you a smaller target, but also reduces mobility pretty severely. So anyway, there's a new thing in prone actually, where you've got normal prone pace, you've got slow prone pace, I think. Okay, I can't get it going. But then you've also got fast prone as well, or like fast crawl, which is very good for if you're in a bit of a sticky situation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop my graphic settings just so I get some nicer frames, and I'm going to take you on a flight of the island. Sorry if this is a little bit sporadic, I'm just trying to get this out for you guys as quickly as possible. So feel free to check out the Arma 3 Alpha. It is £20 on Steam at the moment. Also, on a side note, guys, because I ordered the Supporter Edition, I'll be getting some Alpha Light keys. The Alpha Light is open in the next few weeks or so. I'm not quite sure, I'll check the dates. But if you guys stick around in the very near future on Arma Hub, we shall be giving away some of those. Anyway, I hope we'll be able to give away some of those. I'm not quite sure because I didn't get the download. I got the Steam code because the Bohemia store was down for quite a lot and all the orders buggered up, so they had to send everyone who ordered the Supporter Edition Steam codes. So I'm hoping I still get Alpha Light codes, and if I do, I shall send them on your way. I shall send them your way, even I should say. Right, now I'm going to lower my graphic settings, hop in the chopper, and take you guys on a flight of the island. Okay guys, I'm back and I've lowered all my settings and I'm not quite sure what it is. I imagine it's just some sort of bug at the moment. Anyway, we're gonna hop in the KA60 and take you guys on a little flight. My guy's being really loud in my ear. Right, so this is one of two choppers that you can get in the Alpha at the moment. The other one is the armed little bird, and there's this, the KA60, and then there's also a black version of this, and I think there's two variables on the little bird, but I think they're both armoured. Have I got auto hover on? I do. Oh, one thing you guys need to note is the scroll wheel. Instead of clicking a mouse button to select, you click the middle mouse button, which you could do on Arma 2, but sometimes people like to click, and I was shooting at squad mates accidentally yesterday from trying to select stuff without using the middle mouse wheel. So there, we've just left Stratus Airfield. I'm going to fly you along the coast over the marina. It's got some weird name, but I'm not going to try and pronounce it, and I also can't remember it off the top of my head. But this is the marina. This is sort of a main town. I haven't really seen any larger towns than this in Stratus Island, but that's okay. You know, it's very open, very sniper friendly, very vehicle friendly, and I reckon it will bring in some different gameplay. But anyway, it is an alpha. They're going to be releasing more maps, obviously, with the retail release of Arma 3, or even the beta release of Arma 3, which we're all excited for. But I'd recommend picking up the alpha because it's going to be around for a while. I think the alpha ends in either June or July, which is still a few months away, either or. So I'd definitely recommend picking it up. And if you pick up the £20 one, which is about maybe like $35, you will get the game for a lot cheaper. You see you've got some sort of compounds here just scattered around randomly, which is always nice. Will make for some interesting insurgents missions and stuff like that. So I checked out this island on the left, not much there, fairly small, but we've got some lighthouses dotted around, and I'm just going to fly straight over the middle of the island so you guys get the gist of it. I'm not a great pilot in this, I will admit that, but I've bought a joystick recently. I'm waiting for that to be delivered, and then I will be doing a review of whether it is worth getting a joystick if you're really into Arma. You see how you've got another sort of military sort of compound up there with some storage crates and whatnot. But anyway, I'm going to be doing a review of whether it's worth picking up a joystick to fly in Arma 3, whether it makes all that much difference, or whether you should just save your money and stick with the keys. So I'm going to be so that's also going to be coming up soon, which I hope you guys will look forward to. We will be releasing some mod gameplay if the mods are developed for alpha. I'm not quite sure that they will be, but you can see down here we've got another military compound. I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's called it calls it another air station. There you go. But yeah, if there are mods released for alpha, I will be reviewing them and showing you guys what's in them and what they're about. But I'm not quite sure that there will be. I know that the mod tools have been released with the alpha. I'm pretty sure that's what it said on the website. But I'm not sure if you can release mods or what the sort of stability of it is. But anyway, you can see here we're sort of over fairly open territory in some parts, like over there it's fairly sparse, and over here it's fairly dense with trees, which will add for some variation. And it's also a fairly small island, so it's easy to be airdropped in to different places or take the new land vehicles, which I'm actually going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys some of the new land vehicles because the vehicles handle a lot nicer than they do in Arma 2. The physics is a lot nicer. But as you can see, not much going on here really, fairly sparse. Few hills, few sort of half mountains, and a bunch of trees and some fairly sparse, more deserty type terrain over there. So anyway, I'm going to hop into the editor, which is nice because in the servers you can still do like not mid mission, but like whilst everyone's in the lobby, you can edit the mission and add some new stuff if you want. So I'm going to delete the KA60 and I'm going to spawn in a Blue 4. There's the Little Bird, by the way. There's two versions of it. I'm not sure. I think the MH9 is the Little Bird. I definitely know the AH9 is the Little Bird, and the MH9 I think is the unarmed version. Anyway, we're going to go to cars. We're going to select the Hunter GMG. I'm not quite sure what this is, but I think it's the Offroad. And we're going to hit OK just to show you guys the sort of physics and handling of cars, which is a lot more polished in this than it is in Arma 2, which is nice because especially quad bikes, like they were awful in Arma 2. There's literally nothing you could do that wouldn't flip a quad bike. So This will lead to more interesting videos, hopefully, because you can jump cars in this, as I will show you. Oh, this is pretty sweet. This is the sort of Blue for Offroad. There's also a... Oh, God, that is awful. So that's really loud in my ear. I'm going to have to turn that down. But there's also... I'll just crank it all the way down. There's also a new sort of tanky type. I don't know why my guy's doing that. But there's a new tanky type of car. I'm not quite sure what it's called, but you see it on the cover. It's I'm not the driver, am I? That's why. Yeah, so there's a new tanky type car that looks sort of like a cross between the Batmobile and the tank, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, we're gonna jump this thing now, this beast of a car, and show you how cars handle. Because usually in Arma 2, when you crash a car, it sort of just stops instantly and is horribly damaged. Whereas now you can literally just jump cars like that over hangers, and it is perfectly fine. And also because it looks like a beastly tanky type of an off-road, so I wouldn't see why a small sort of spill would cause in like horrific damage. But it seems to be alright. Whereas in like Arma 2, if you landed maybe a little bit nose down, it would like fuck up your engine or fuck up a wheel, and then you'd be sort of immobile. But anyway, guys, for the full scoop on the ARMA Alpha, you're going to have to check it out for yourself. Also, stick around because I will hopefully be giving away some Alpha codes soon. And if you guys have any sort of queries on ARMA or anything that you want to see in specific on the ARMA Hub, please let us know. We'd be more than happy to take them into consideration and hopefully cater to your needs. Also, if you would like to become a director or post a video, check our channel page. There are 2 forms that you can fill out, and I will be reviewing them all. And we need all the help we can get here. So if you do like it, please leave a like. Also, subscribe if you want to see the latest of ARMA 3. Also, I will be trying to get some ARMA 2 gameplay for you guys. Maybe some Ace and Acre, or maybe some like Takastani Life, or something a little different from ARMA 2 that people don't really see. And they will hopefully get a chance to play it before everybody moves on to ARMA 3. So anyway, guys, my name's James, and until next time, love you. Thank you for watching. Peace.